everyone, Liberty Doll here, and let's start right out with the big upset over James Comey this week. Comey was let go from his position as FBI director on May 9th via letter, a letter which was delivered by Trump's personal bodyguard. I mean, he probably did do a better job than the post office. Except Comey didn't get the letter because he was giving a speech to FBI employees at the LA headquarters rather than in DC. So the guy got the news from the news that was playing in the background and actually thought that it was a prank and that he was being punked. Whether you love him or hate him or just don't really care, that is still a really shitty way to find out that you're out of a job. While some advisors say that Trump deliberated on the decision for about a week, Sean Spicer was apparently not in the know and did his press conference from behind some bushes on the White House lawn and refused to be filmed. He actually went on site, positioned himself between two hedges, and made everyone shut off all the lights so that no one could see him. His answers mostly consisted of "I don't know," "Ask the Department of Justice," and repeated mentions of the phrase "the TikTok." I love this guy. He is hands down the best part of this presidency. The story goes that Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein, who was only confirmed about 2 weeks ago, took it upon himself to do his own little independent probe of James Comey and wrote a letter to Attorney General Jeff Sessions recommending Comey be fired because of the way he handled the Hillary Clinton email scandal. Sessions then wrote a letter to Trump recommending he follow Rosenstein's recommendation, and Trump did the dirty deed Tuesday night. Comey was, of course, investigating the Trump campaign's possible ties with Russia, an investigation that Sessions had to recuse himself from. Some Washington notables are up in arms, saying this is a way to impede the investigation, which is possible, though some of these same people, like Maxine Waters, for example, previously accused Comey of spreading Russia's misinformation campaign and throwing the election to Trump, and she even said in January that the guy had lost all credibility.
All I can tell you is the FBI director has no credibility.
Though she told NBC on Wednesday that if Hillary had won and fired Comey, she'd be okay with the decision. It's only bad because Trump did it, which smells a whole lot like a double standard.
So she should have fired him, but he shouldn't have fired him. This is why I'm confused.
No, you're not confused.
Enter similar arguments and statements from Harry Reid and Chuck Schumer, etc. ad nauseum. Let's call for his resignation, but don't you dare fire him. Meanwhile, anyone remember Michael Flynn? Yeah, he just got subpoenaed by the Senate Intelligence Committee investigating that whole Russia thing at the exact same time as Comey being fired. Now Trump is saying he had been considering firing Comey all along, and this is 100% about Hillary Clinton, even though his letter to Comey thanked him for, quote, informing me on 3 separate occasions that I am not under investigation. Which is kind of like saying, sorry man, I know you told me I'm innocent like 3 times, but Rod and Jeff still say you gotta go. Either way, Donald Trump sure is good at making himself look guilty. The Treasury Department released a report this week that announced a $182 billion budget surplus last month instead of the deficit that was expected, which sounds pretty good until you realize that the government still has a fiscal year-to-date deficit of $344 billion, which is a disgusting amount of money. The Department of Labor also put out a nice-looking report this week that unemployment benefits were down to levels not seen since 1988, with only 1.9 million people collecting unemployment. They also reported an unemployment rate of about 4.4%, which is actually a lot more than the 2 million on unemployment. And despite that low rate of only 4.4% unemployment, the workforce participation rate is still only about 63%. So while only 4.4 is considered unemployed by government definition, 47% of working-age Americans still aren't working. Speaking of things not working, Aetna announced Wednesday that they're ditching the ObamaCare exchanges completely and will also be pulling out of individual markets in several states because, well, Obamacare didn't work for them, or much of anyone, really. Well, that's a lie. There's probably I don't know, 50 people that it worked for. But for everyone else, it just didn't work out. Despite hikes in premiums everywhere, Aetna lost almost $700 million from 2014 to 2016 and are projected to lose over $200 million this year, even though they already pulled plans from 11 of the 15 states where they were selling. Many major insurers have already left the exchanges, saying they simply can't afford to keep selling plans as not enough people are signing up, and the people that do sign up are actually a lot sicker than the insurance companies had accounted for. Humana left earlier this year. Most of the nonprofit insurers that were created under the law have failed and shut down after defaulting on billions of dollars of federal loans, which was supposed to be their only source of funding, by the way. And many states have only 1 or 2 insurers left willing to stay on board with Obamacare, and the few insurers who are left have already put in for double-digit rate hikes for next year. Some states are in danger of not having any insurance carriers at all, so not sure what those people are supposed to do. But Obamacare is supposed to have been Obama's biggest achievement, right? I have also got a couple cop stories for you today. Way back last May, a West Virginia cop named Stephen Mader responded to a 911 call about a suicidal person with an unloaded gun. When Mader responded, he found himself face to face with Ronald Williams, who started pleading with the officer to shoot him. Mader was also a Marine vet that had done a tour in Afghanistan and says that all his training told him that this man was depressed but not a threat. So instead of shooting, he tried to de-escalate the situation, but unfortunately, before he could get very far, another officer showed up and shot the guy. The entire confrontation lasted less than a minute. An investigation took place. The shooting was found justified, even though the gun was confirmed to have been unloaded, and Mader was fired for not shooting Williams. The department claimed that his failure to shoot was actually a failure to meet their standards and assess critical incidents. His termination notice says he, quote, failed to eliminate a threat, which then put other officers in danger. Despite this, the department told reporters and Williams' family that all of the officers involved were back to work, which is kind of weird. As of this week, with the help of the ACLU, Mader has filed a lawsuit claiming that the county, city, and police department all violated his First and 14th Amendment rights. The police chief has responded to the situation by simply stating that Mader is a disgruntled employee with a one-sided story. Also this week, a family of 8 found themselves as the victims in a wrongful no-knock prostitution raid because no-knock raids typically go so well that the police said, hey, why not? We'll do it for hookers too. Detroit police apparently got their tip from a rando heroin addict that told police that she and some teenagers had been forced into sex trafficking and visually identified the Navarrete home. Police camped outside the house that night, saw the family's 13-year-old daughter and a friend get dropped off at the house, and decided that that was enough for a no-knock raid. According to the family, the police burst in with masks on and guns drawn and threw that same 13-year-old to the floor in handcuffs, and then when the mom asked what was going on, they threatened to shoot her and told her she has no rights. They never showed a warrant and called the whole thing a rescue mission. Police have since apologized for being rough with the family, their words, which they say they did for their own protection, but that if the situation were to happen again, they wouldn't do anything differently because when it comes to pimps and hoes, it's better to be wrong than sorry. I mean, it's not like Detroit isn't already known for botching no-knock raids and accidentally killing small children while they do it. Oh wait, they actually caught that one on reality TV. That concludes your Liberty-related news for the week. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're over on YouTube, and throw me some upvotes if you're over on VidMe. And if you really like my videos and want to help me spread the message of liberty, you can also help me by supporting me on Patreon. So until next week, thanks for watching and helping me to keep the message of liberty alive.